chào, mình đã trở lại với channel của mình. Hôm nay chúng ta sẽ chơi vô thôi. Ở đây thôi. Vâng, sẽ mở cửa đèn lại rồi khiến cho chúng ta lên đây rồi.
That involved Tinny from Tin Toy, and that would be a good next step to learning how to do longer format with computer animation.
So we started pitching this to all the studios.
Peter Schneider, who was the head of Disney Feature Animation at the time, called us one day and said, "We are interested in you guys possibly doing an animated feature film for us."
So I thought about it for 1 nanosecond and said, "Okay, it's our one shot."
Make a movie? Really?
We were so excited. We were not amply scared. We should have been.
It was weird. We never made a movie before, none of us. It was like, what do you want to make? When we were trying to come up with a story to tell, we had to look at the kinds of things that were relatively easy to do with computer graphics at the time. I kept going back to the idea of toys being alive. Whether we intended it or not, almost everything we made sort of looked like plastic. The idea of doing something with toys as characters was embracing the limitations of technology.
You know, it's weird. I don't remember, like, interviewing at Pixar. I just kind of just set me up there, and there I was. I came in, but it was still early days of being in cast. There was definitely an air of, this is new, this is daunting and exciting. But it was always laced through with Lasseter's mandate, just making an animated movie. Forget about the tech.
This one right there, yeah. Thank you, Steve. We decided to start by making a list of what we didn't want our film to be. We didn't want it to be a fairy tale. We knew we didn't want this to be a musical.
We didn't want to make the same kinds of films that we made at Disney.
And we weren't trying to make them the way that they were making them. We wanted it to be something different. And then we figured out the buddy picture. The buddy picture is a genre of story that had never been done in animation. We went back to our Tin Toy Christmas storyline. And in that we had two characters. One was a ventriloquist dummy, the child's favorite toy. And on the kid's birthday, he gets a new toy, this tin toy, that becomes his new favorite toy. And so how the old toy and the new toy deal with it. As the story developed then, we realized, okay, a tin toy is probably not the most hip current toy that we could come up with. I looked in my own home, you know, to do research. I had 5 sons, and I watched what they played with. And they played with action figures. Well, a lot of the guys had like the G.I. Joes, and they were all like the envy of like the karate chop action, all the things you can make their grip go back, you know, all that stuff we tried to pack into one toy, and that became Buzz.
Buzz Lightyear to Star Command. Come in, Star Command.
Then we started looking at the ventriloquist dummy. They have the slot here, and, you know, as it turns out, those are kind of spooky. And I think it was Buzz Lucky, who was one of the story guys we had just hired. He was a big cowboy fan himself, and so he was just drawing, and he said to John one day, "What if we made Woody a cowboy?" And as soon as he said that, I go, "Yes, that's fantastic," because as a buddy picture, you want them to be as opposite as possible. In the 50s, of course, cowboys were kind of replaced by spacemen in history and in pop culture, and it's perfect. An old toy and a new toy.
Bấm này là gì? Ủa? Chắc bấm phải ngàn đại. Này bản đồ gì?
You know, Andy loves toys that he can find.
Anderson really, he had an intuitive understanding of who Woody was. I learned a lot about how you could make somebody have selfish intentions, but have a selfless exterior. And that's how we finally cracked Woody. He really was in it for the room and wanted to help all the toys, but it was conditional as long as he was top toy. Once that got tested, it brought out a side of him he didn't even know he had.
How come you don't have a laser, Woody?
It's not a laser, it's
It's a little light bulb that blinks.
What's with him?
We knew this character was going to be flawed, but we still wanted him to be appealing.
Cái
He
bạn tóc
actually
bị sao
has a
vậy?
role he plays within the adult world of what the
Cái
toy
bạn
is
tóc
doing in
bị
this
sao
world. He
vậy?
has to be a leader that everybody likes.
Tuesday night's plastic corrosion awareness meeting
Ôi trời ơi
was,
rồi.
I think, a big success. And we want to thank Mr. Spell for putting that on for us. Thank you, Mr. Spell.
And we kept
Oh my
coming
God,
back to
viên đại.
this sort of Jimmy
Ôi
Stewart-like character.
And the first and only person we thought of for Woody was Tom Hanks.
You know, the way they always got everybody was, they said,
Đúng này.
come be the voice of a Disney cartoon and you'll live forever and you'll delight your kids and your grandkids. That's how they got you. And you'd probably do it, you know, just for free coffee.
Very good, Woody. That's just the old doodle.
We actually took some lines of dialogue from a movie he made called Turner and Hooch, and we animated our test figure of Woody the Cowboy to these really funny lines of dialogue of him getting so exasperated with his dog.
He was all bug-eyed. He went down on the ground. He was pounding his fist. Don't eat the car. Don't eat the car. What are you doing? Are you eating the car?
No, you're eating the car! Don't eat the car! Not the car! No,
He saw that. He just laughed so hard, and he had us show it to him like 3 times in a row.
It didn't have the same motion. It didn't have the same sort of pattern that
Ôi ghê, ôi
cellular
ghê, ghê.
animation had.
Đặt lòng gì
Actually,
đây?
I'm not even sure what I'm looking at. And we kind of got excited about that.
I said, great, great. I'm in.
Ôm có gì mà hồi còn không có cho bạn
Who
đó.
could be this, you know, space hero kind of action figure that could really be funny? And I was a huge fan of Tim Allen's stand-up routine.
Then John came in and said, hey guys, listen to this.
Sống
This is
sống sống
hilarious.
thật ra đó.
He is very funny.
Always want to do voiceovers, and I studied with some great voiceover talents that did commercials. So doing a voiceover was something that was in my wheelhouse. I always liked that idea.
Tim Allen, as an actor, brought a lot to that character and forced us to look at the character in a much more unique and specific way.
In the first